You know the type. Maybe it's you. The person whose brain just processes the room a fraction of a second faster than everyone else. You instantly clock the subtle incompetence in a meeting, the slight exaggeration in a friend's story, or the microscopic lies holding a relationship together. Logically, that level of insight should make you the most valuable person in the room. But in reality, the person who sees through everything is usually the one who gets pushed out. They get passed over for promotions, slowly alienated by their peers, and eventually labeled as toxic. We are taught that raw intelligence is an absolute good, and that cutting through the noise to expose the unvarnished truth is the highest possible virtue. Curious, analytical tone. Ancient philosophy views this compulsion to expose every hidden agenda as a fatal cognitive error, one that inevitably turns human nature against the observer. By deploying your intelligence as a weapon for the truth, you are actively building your own gallows. There's a bizarre true crime case recorded in an ancient life sciences text called the Wenxi Zhenjie Da Pei Fu. It takes place in the state of Jin, centering around a man named Shi Yang. Shi Yang possessed a terrifying talent. He functioned as a flawless, living lie detector. Just by glancing at the micro-expressions around someone's eyes, specifically their eyelashes, he could instantly tell if they were a thief. The king of Jin put this ability to work immediately. Shi Yang caught hundreds of criminals, sweeping the streets clean without a single false positive. But a highly respected sage of the time, Wenzi, observed this perfect track record and made a dark prediction. He warned that relying on this kind of invasive, absolute insight guaranteed Shi Yang would die a gruesome death. He was exactly right. Realizing they had nowhere to hide from Shi Yang's gaze, the thieves of the city completely stopped their infighting. They united in the shadows, moved as a single force, and brutally assassinated the greatest detective in the world in one night. Shi Yang's genius left no room for his targets to breathe, and that exact brilliance engineered his violent end. There is a Zhao dynasty proverb that maps the psychology of this trap perfectly. Seeing fish in the deep pool is ominous. Knowing hidden things brings disaster. This diagram illustrates what ancient texts call the Shi-Shen. Think of it as the acquired, hyper-analytical operating system of the human mind. It functions exactly like this central node, constantly sending out a rhythmic radar to scan the environment and highlight the fractures. When you use that system to endlessly scan for deceptions, you leave people with no escape, backed into a psychological corner. Exposing a hidden motive leaves the other person with no social exit. This forced vulnerability triggers a primal threat response, prioritizing retaliation and defense over any potential for self-improvement. Every time you publicly point out a colleague's hidden agenda or dissect a friend's white lie at a dinner party, you are reenacting the exact arrogance of Shi Yang. You are painting a massive target on your own back. So if absolute insight is essentially a social death sentence, how do you navigate a world built almost entirely on hidden motives and fragile social masks? The text prescribes a highly counterintuitive survival tactic: strategic blindness. It is the deliberate, highly calculated decision to play dumb. To execute this cognitive shift, intentionally power down that aggressive Shi-Shen radar, ignoring microscopic flaws. Replace it with the Yan-Shen, the primordial big picture system. Now, when incoming lies strike, they don't trigger a red alert response. They just dissolve into the larger surface area. This has nothing to do with actual ignorance. It is about constructing an internal emotional buffer thick enough to tolerate the inevitable gray areas of human nature. The core rule is this: you retain your razor-sharp ability to see exactly what is happening under the surface, but you master the discipline of keeping your mouth shut. Lasting security in this world requires the discipline to let others keep their illusions. By refusing to be the spotlight that forces their darkness to fight back, you reclaim absolute control over your own survival.